Camera on, and we are live. And we are waiting. Now we just wait, is that right, Joe? We just wait?
How is it this?
Oh no, got it.
Do we turn off the sound for a second?
No, we're going to keep the sound on so we can chat away. And we've got one eyeball. Oh, thank you. That's quite amazing. It does say 25 minutes you've been live, Joe, though. No? And this is on our...
We're on the right one.
Yeah. So if you're just joining us, welcome. We're just going to wait for a couple of more minutes. It's 10:58 on my watch. Thank you for joining us. We are excited to be here. It's quite odd. I've been used to a lot of Zoom calls where you can obviously see the audience, and right now all I can see is a little eyeball at the top here. It tells me how many people are on here. So we currently have 11 people watching. So thank you all for coming on time and joining us. We're just going to let everyone else come at the 11 o'clock hour. Yes. Still 10:58. My goodness, that's a slow minute. But yeah, thank you for joining us. We'll be talking about some housekeeping at the end, but we are excited to share this project with you, this new budget builder tool. Okay, just a little reminder that we're going live in 1 minute. It's just popped up on the screen. Yeah, I mean, that's actually still 10:58.
Time goes slow.
So we will do some housekeeping, but if you wanted to ask any questions, if you just put them in the comments box, we'll have some Q&A at the end of the session. And we will also look to enable you to book a meeting with Molly, part of the Auscare Support Budget Builder team. We would look also, if you wanted us, if you send us a direct message, a DM, we'll be able to send out some brochures and some other collateral so that you'll be able to get in touch with us if it's something that's of interest, obviously. So 10:59 on my watch. We're going to just wait for 1 more minute, if you don't mind, people, as we wait for other people just to join us at the prescribed time. But we wanted to thank you for being on time. One of my pet hates is being late, actually.
Right, you're always on time.
I do try very hard to always be on time. I don't know that I'm always necessarily, but I'm always good at school pickups, actually.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I've been good at that.
Yeah. Back
in the day when my son was
there.
We are, so Lisa, where are we based? We're coming to you from the Southern Highlands. That's a good question, actually. We're coming to you from the Southern Highlands. We are a nationally accredited NDIS provider. All right, excited to have you all here. Please welcome you all to the Auscare Support Budget Builder webinar. I would like to begin in the spirit of reconciliation that Auscare Support acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay our respects to elders past, present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders here today. And we'd like to extend a warm welcome to everybody who's joined us. Auscare Support, a nationally accredited provider of support coordination, plan management, support staff services, and we're very pleased that we have created a new channel for the business called Budget Builder. Just before I get into the detail, a little bit of housekeeping, as I said. So this webinar is going to be pretty short and sweet. We're going to be 15 to 20 minutes of chat from Margaret and I. And then at the end of there, if you'd like to ask us any questions, you can put them in the comments bar, and we'll have some of the top 3 questions. And then, of course, Margaret and I will stay on afterwards, and have anybody that is keen to stick around and sort of ask us questions. We'll try and answer as many as possible. We're not in any rush to leave, so please feel free to stick around. Auscare Support. We were established in 2015, and we have grown exponentially, and we are huge fans and advocates of the NDIS. We've seen ourselves firsthand the transformative nature of some of the people that we support, and are really excited about the future of the NDIS and our role in it. Having said that, we know that it's not perfect, and one of the biggest issues that we've identified in our capacity is that funds remain unspent in an individual's plan. And we know that, and this has been quite publicly acknowledged by the agency themselves, that the figure on a national basis is approximately 30%. So if you take a $22 billion scheme, that's $7 billion that is not spent. And I think the most important thing at this stage is probably just to try and make it personal to yourselves. So if you took your plan and you thought about the value of your plan and the various different categories, and you took a third of that and you just gave it back to the government now, that you realize that you've been shortchanged, you hadn't been given all the supports that your plan had been built to achieve, and you would have lost out on some critical services and supports that you are entitled to and you need, and that are part of that's why the plan was built that way. So, a significant underspend across the course of the nation's NDIS plans. And that's at the same time there are individuals that are overspending it. And we know that overspending and underspending, they both have some issues. And there are a number of different issues that contribute to the underspend. And we'll delve into those a little bit later. And on that note, I'm going to hand over to Margie Tully. Over to you.
Thanks, Max. Thanks for the introduction, and hello, everyone. And it's really great to be talking to you today about Budget Builder. So Max was talking about one of the big issues we've found after talking to our clients and talking to people in the community, that people are actually underspending on their plan, which is strange because you think usually it would be the other case. And after talking to people, we've realised that there's often a lot of confusion or a lack of confidence around their plans. People receive an NDIS plan and they receive chunks of money, and they receive it in different categories, and it's sometimes really hard to work out whether or not all of your services will fit into those chunks, and if you can afford all the services you like. And so I think what's happening is people, rather than overspending it, are not spending, and at the end of their plan they're ending up with unspent funds. And so we talked about that here at Auscare and what we can do to help, and we came up with a service called Budget Builder. And so we're really keen, and we want all participants to maximise their plans and for them to receive all the funds and all the services that they need. So now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what the Budget Builder service is and how that can really help and hopefully solve that problem. So what it actually means is we are having a budget builder. So we have a team of budget builders, and we have Molly, who's on the call today with us. And it means you're going to have your own personal budget builder advisor. And so you can make an appointment, say with Molly, and then she will talk to you about developing a plan. She'll ask you about what services you might have, what are your goals, what services you might like, and then she'll cost all these services and make sure it fits into your budget. Here at Auscare Support, we have access to a great budget building tool, and so it was specifically developed for the NDIS. And so using this tool makes this process really quick, really effective, and it can be done over the phone. And then Molly will send you out a report. So she'll send you out a detailed report and a summary report. And I'm going to now try and show you, hopefully not probably so effectively, but this is an example of a really simple budget that we've done for our pseudo makeup person called Tim Test. And so Tim Test, he came to us and he said, right, I've got, this is my plan, and I've got $24,000 or $24,500 in core supports. And so Molly will sit down with him and he'll say to her, look, I really need some cleaners to come into the house. I need some help with cooking and shopping. And then I love football. During the football season, I want to go and see 8 of the home games at my local club. And so Molly will sit down with him and she'll say, right, well, let's put a plan together and fit all of those services into your budget. And so we've worked out that, so Tim, he can have a cleaner and they can come for 1 hour, and they can come for 1.5 hours, and they can come for every week of his whole plan. We worked out that he needs some help with cooking and shopping, and he can actually afford 6 hours a week. It might be Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, or it might be Tuesdays and Thursdays. We can split all of that out in your plan, and so that means that he'll get 6 hours a week of help with the cooking and the shopping.
Yep. I'm just going to go.
Here we go. There,
let's say we're good at budgeting, not good at technology was a joke I was going to make. But yeah, so if you can see that, what we've done is broken it down, and then the remainder that he's got to spend.
Yeah, so he's organised with Jack, his support worker, and Jack's going to come and take him to the football. That takes about 5 hours each time. He's got 8 home games, so we've made a budget for that too. And so we've now worked out that Tim can fit all of these services into his plan. So he's got a budget of $24,500 that he's been given from the NDIS. We know that his cleaners will cost almost $4,000. We know that his cooking and shopping will take up the bulk of that, which is about $17,000. And then he's still got $3,000 so that he can go to the football with Jack. And he's pretty much spent all of his budget now, and so he's got no problems, and he can confidently now go and organise with Jack to go to the football and to go and get some help with his cooking and cleaning.
Yeah, and one of the advantages of it is if for example in one quarter or in a period that there's an overspend or an underspend, the advantage of the budget builder tool is that we can identify that with some of the follow-up reports that we provide, and then flex the rest of the spend so that you can ensure that if there had, say, been an underspend in going to the football for whatever reason, it was too wet outside or too miserable or too cold or whatever it was, if that hadn't been spent, then we can reallocate that funding across the course of the next summer sports or something else that it would be, so that again we try and ensure that at the end of the year that 24,500, which is the budget figure that we've got here, is fully spent. And of course, the budget builder tool then does also identify if we're going over that. So it's a bright red box on the tool, which enables us to kind of be able to quickly identify when we've allocated too much support, too much service, or too much to a certain category.
And then that's not the end of the service. So Molly will create this great budget and she'll send it out to you, but she can also talk to you about how to engage services. How do you search for services? How do you find services in your local area? Maybe you have the cleaners, but you haven't actually found anybody who's really great to help with the cooking and the shopping. So she can talk to you about actually engaging those services. What's a service agreement? She might also talk to you about how to access the NDIS portal. So she will help you as from the participant's point of view to access the portal and check on your budget. And she's there to talk to you about anything else that's NDIS related. So any other questions that you have or queries about what supports you can have under a different category. It's really about making the services as tailoring it to you to make it as effective as possible for you to get the maximum out of your budget. So then essentially, Molly will give you almost a shopping list of services and supports, and then you'll go out and she'll talk to you about how to engage services, and then you can go out and you can engage those services. And then over the life of the plan that you've got no problem having all of those services, and they can come in and help you. We can check in with you halfway. So as Max said, if you're halfway through your budget, then we can check in with you. We can quickly redo a budget for the second half of your plan. And as you said, you might find out that you've got some extra services. Somebody might have been on holidays, and so actually you could have the cleaners and they could come for 2 hours and they could do a really good spring clean before Christmas. So we can adjust it as we go along and keep it within your budget so that you never have to worry.
And I guess one of the other advantages of the capacity that the budget builder, the reporting tools that we have, the summaries and the detail, is when you do go into a planning meeting, you may have identified that in fact you felt that you hadn't achieved some of your goals, and part of the reason was that you hadn't had enough supports in a certain category or certain budget. Let's just say in this case, community participation. So you might be able to say to the planner, look, what I budgeted out with my budget builder assistant is that I need in fact twice the amount or a third more, or whatever the case may be. So we can actually take that into a planning meeting, and I think that the planners will feel very empowered to, I guess, recognize what you've identified as the core supports that you require. And as I say, we've had some very, very positive feedback that it really breaks down the meeting and identifies your needs on a reasonable and necessary basis.
Yeah, so we've done that, and we've given it to LACs, and we've given it to the planners, and it's a great support along with your reports and your other information that you give to them. And they've looked at it and they've said, wow, this is great. This really identifies very easily what supports that you need to get the most out of your life. And so that's a great way also to use the service. You can always give the report to your support coordinator and to your plan manager, or if you have a key provider, you can give your plan to them. And so it's also a great tool to share with your support community. We know that unspent funds aren't carried over, and so what we're trying to do is to make sure that you get the maximum out of your plan, and that you get to the end of your plan and that you've almost got zero left. Maybe you've got $2 left, and so that the planner and for your next plan they can see, hey, look, this person's really using this plan to their maximum benefit. And so Max has talked a little bit about on how else you can use this report. So it is great for review time, and we've had a lot of success around that. We found also that it's really great for splitting out complex areas of a plan. So you don't have to have a whole plan done. Some people have some really big budgets in their core supports, and it can be really quite complex. They might need people on weekends, they might need evening shifts, they might need help on public holidays. There's certain times of the year when there's more public holidays than other times of the year, and we can factor that all into your budget. So you could have a really extensive core support budget done for you, and then you can give that directly to your core providers, and then they know exactly what supports you're going to have, and then they can allocate the correct staff for that as well, and they can help you find the right supports. So we've found that it's been really, really effective in that area as well. And then another area that we found also that it's been really effective is we do quarterly budgets. So for some people who've got quite big plans, we've split it down into quarters. And so some people will need more supports in certain parts of the year, and so we can split that out for you as well. And so we found that to be really effective. So you don't have sort of all of your funds being used in the first quarter. We make sure that enough funds are left over for other quarters or other times in the year where you really need those funds. So it really takes the worry out of thinking, gosh, if I have this support worker come in now, can I have them around Christmas time or not? And so that's what we want to really help people avoid, that stress. And we want to make this process as efficient and successful. And so it really is just about having a conversation with one of our budget builders. And this can take an hour, it can take a couple of follow-up emails, and that can be it. So it can be that simple, and then we can send you out the report. We find that check-ins are really great throughout the year, but once again, that can be done really easily over the phone. It can be done by Zoom, it can be done by Facebook Live. We want to make it as accessible for you guys as much as possible. It can be done just through emails even.
Yeah, and I think when it comes down to that sort of thing, there's the question around cost. What does it cost? And we do try and be very transparent about this. So the hourly fee for a budget builder is $60 an hour. That's mandated by the price guide, and we are able to access that across different core or capacity building budgets. So there is the capacity for us to work with you and your plan to try and access it. As Mikey said, it could be that it's 1 to 3 hours in the initial conversation. It could be a follow-up of 3 to 6 hours after that. So we don't know exactly what it's going to cost you, but we anticipate that between $60 and $180 to start with, which is 1 to 3 hours of time. Follow-ups dependent on the complexity of your plan or what you would like us to be involved in. So we are flexible to leave it at that if that's what you want us to do, build the plan for you and give it to you, and then we that's our job done, and you feel that you're empowered to use that, you've gained control over your funds, and happy days. That's great. Alternatively, as you say, we can check in, we can be as involved with you as you need us to be. So we don't envisage it taking more than 10 hours, I guess, probably across the course of the year. year, which is less than an hour a month, obviously front-loaded and probably loaded towards the planning meeting as well. So we want to make sure that you're really in control, really empowered to go into that and really take a good budget plan into your next year's, particularly as the other plans are coming into two, or we've actually heard of lifetime plans being issued, but let's not go there. That's a whole different ballgame. So yeah, I think that cost-wise, we're envisaging $180 to $480 roughly the plan it'll cost for us. But again, it's dependent on the complexity in your situation and how much you want us to be involved in that. We do want, however, you to access us as easily as possible. So as Margie said, we've got Molly here. Molly's physically based in Adelaide in South Australia, but is accessible via a Calendly tool. So we're going to send out a link to enable you to book in a free meeting with her. So that is a free chat. It's a 15-minute chat to see whether this may be useful for you in your circumstances, in your situation. So again, that's not part of the 1 to 3 hours, and if you wanted to kickstart that, we can do that pretty quickly as well. And again, as Margie said, how do we contact you? How do we get in touch with you? How do you get in touch with us? It's as simple as we've got telephones. You can call, emails we'll answer, Zooms we can do if you want. We can do it on Facebook Live if you want. We're trying to make it as easy as possible for people to get in touch with us. Obviously, physically, the report, the budget builder report that we produce for you, that can be sent out via traditional mail to your postal address, or you can be sent that on an email. I don't think it's possible to text it, so at this stage it's probably email or post at this stage. But yeah, and that's obviously then something that follow up. Yeah, I think that's kind of about the fruition of our conversation. Did we hit everything on? Did we nail it?
So.
First time. As I said, we are great at budget building, not so great at technology. So excuse us if you don't. We've got a few questions that are coming up. I don't know if you wanted to ask us any questions. Please feel free to jump on the comments. But I have been asked a couple of comments here. I'm going to start with the first one. If funds are unspent, is that compounding interest? And for next year's budgets, what I'm saying is the NDIS person just a commodity. That's from Simon Adams. Simon, so firstly, the NDIS person is not just a commodity, certainly not in our books. And no, there is no compounding interest developed on unspent things. So essentially, if you come to the end of your plan, let's just say you have $100,000 in the plan and you haven't spent $30,000 of that dollars, essentially, you may be able to go and speak to your planner about why you need that $30,000 in the next year, but there's no guarantee you'll get that. So the idea is that each planning meeting you go into, there is a review of your current situation and the goals for that coming year. The adage, if you don't use it, you lose it, is kind of appropriate and kind of correct. But we sort of hesitate with that because it's not necessarily that you'd lose it as in you won't get it next year. You could potentially get it next year, but the concept is that you might get, if you haven't spent it in year one, then and you don't spend it in year two, well then they might have a judgment that they think that you don't need it. So it doesn't compound interest. Essentially, you basically give that money back to the government. They may give it back to you in year two. So that's a kind of convoluted way of saying let's just try and help everyone spend all of their money. Next question, does this work with ECEI, which you would probably know more about, and does the service cost out of your budget? So Chloe, thank you for that question. I'm going to pass over to Margie. Let's just determine what ECEI is for everyone that may not know.
So it's the early children or the early intervention packages that the children get up to the age of 7, as I understand. And so it does. So children often have quite a few different supports that they need out of their capacity building budget. And it's a great way to split that out. So in fact, we've done it really effectively with a couple of kids and split out budgets. And so it works really, really well. So you might need a capacity building budget for your children. You might be getting your services, depending on what state you're in, from one provider, and you can give that to that provider, and it might be a day program, it might be some school visits or preschool visits, it might be some individual therapy, and that can all be worked into the budget. You can give that to your provider or your providers, which they will love because then they know that they've got a set amount of funds that they can use to provide services for your child. So it is really great for children.
Yeah. It's yeah, fantastic. So thank you. And so is Budget Builder available if you qualify for support coordination? The answer to that is no. So I want to unpick that a couple of bits. So firstly, we can the charges for the Budget Builder service that we provide can come out of multiple different line items or multiple budget categories. So the NDI has, in recent changes to price guides, has issued, I guess, has made it more flexible and more capacity for you to choose what services you want for various different things. So previously it was quite inflexible, and I think as a recognition of a variety of things, A, it should have been more flexible in the first place, but B, because of COVID, and they just needed people to be able to access funds and spend the money to receive the services and supports they needed. They did make it more flexible, and as a result of that flexibility, then we have the capacity to utilize the Budget Builder's charges from different funding lines. Again, we're very transparent about this, and we're very honest and open about where we go and what the charges are, and we don't want you to feel that's not. But no, you do not have to qualify for support coordination. Having said that, we are a support coordination provider. So one of the benefits of the Budget Builder family, I guess, is that you have access to our support coordination administration teams, and we will probably be able to provide a sort of pseudo support coordination service to you to try and help you to link you up with some of the supports there. But that's again trying to get into, I guess, the detail of it. Depending on where you're at and the services that you need, then we can obviously look at trying to support you to find services if you've struggled for them. So that's just an advantage.
Yeah, so it can come out of your core supports, it can come out of your support coordination budget, and it can come out of your capacity building budget. Yeah. So it's pretty much, hopefully, we think, accessible to almost everyone.
Yeah, that's a much more succinct way of saying what I tried to say. Thank you. So the final question we've got at the moment, although there might have been another one since we've been there, thanks Joe, which is a really interesting question and a great one. Thank you, Jen. So my plan is for 3 years. How do I plan for service cost increases by the 3rd year? That's a great question. And look,
yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I guess it's coming back to when I was talking about flexing the budget. So when you've done something for a period, my anticipation is that your plan will also have some flex in it as well.
So what we have, sorry, Mr. Jumping, but what we have in the tool is we have the most up-to-date price guide in there. So we always have the most up-to-date prices. So as prices change, then we will flex your plan and your budget for changing prices. And so we can easily flex a 3-year plan to include different prices. And in fact, each provider might have a different price. So it's not just the price guided prices that can be used in there. We can change the price to be any price. And so we can definitely flex plans to include increases in budgets, changes in prices. And that can be reflected in the budget quite easily as well.
Yeah, but I mean, the concept of longer plans and lifetime plans, I think we're all sort of still, we're excited about them, because I think the annual planning meeting is quite stressful and doesn't necessarily need to be done. So we're excited about having lifetime plans or longer plans. And I think we're all sort of trying to work the lay of the land out there. Yeah. We've got one more question, and this is from Chloe. And Chloe, thank you for the question. It says, if you are not plan managing someone's plan, you are just providing the Budget Builder services, how do you monitor expenditure? And it's a fantastic question, because the answer is that, well, we as a Budget Builder team can only have access to the information that you enable us to have. So if you do give us permissions to access your information, then we will be able to monitor expenditure. Although that, again, if your plan manager if you are plan managed or self-managed, or if you're agency managed, there are various different ways of monitoring your own expenditure or enabling us as a budget builder to do so. And again, we want to work with you in your individual situation. So we don't currently have, I mean, conceptually, I guess we provide you with a budget builder solution, and then you are charged and build the capacity to manage and monitor that spend yourself. We can obviously try, if you give us permissions to, then we can work on actuals on a monthly or quarterly basis on a flexed. So yeah, again, it depends on what you want us to do. Obviously, we are a plan management company as well, so we have all of the knowledge around accessing Proda and delving into different categories to find out actual spends versus budgeted spends and allocated spends. So yeah, we sort of guess would work with you, but it's a fantastic question. We would actually like, and we are exploring some of the technology that enables to have real-time expenditure reports contributed on a monthly basis or provided to you on a monthly basis. That's something that we're just working towards. The technology is fairly new from the NDIA themselves that enables us to access the API to Proda. So watch this space because we are really excited about it, but it's sort of a work in progress. So look, I'm conscious of time. Everyone's obviously, it's a work day. I hope that you have enjoyed it. We would love you to follow up with Auscare Support. So if you'd like us to follow up with you as an email, please either DM us, direct message us, something, you know, our website is www.auscaresupport.com.au. There's contact us forms on there. We do have a lot of your details from Eventbrite, so thank you very much for registering on that basis. We will be following up. We do offer, as I said, a free consultation with Molly, part of the Budget Builder team. That's just an initial personalized conversation that enables you to determine whether this is the right thing for you. I know that these webinars can be a little bit impersonal. You know, you're just watching Margie and I and not interacting so much. Yeah, but we'd love to follow up. We'd love any comments or feedback. If you think it's a great service, if you think it's not a great service, we'd love to hear your feedback on that because we're open to suggestions. We are striving to enable people to spend their to spend their funds. Yeah, and I guess as well, any final thoughts? I've got one final thought, but I was going to let you go.
No, that's all good. It's all about building people's capacity to really feel empowered.
Yeah, so we're trying to, I'm going to say we're going to reduce confusion, we're going to develop control, and we're going to increase your confidence. So that's what we're striving for here today, and I hope that you kind of feel that that's coming across from us and the team. Thank you very much. We will stick around, so if you wanted to throw comments in there, that's great. If not, thank you all for coming, and we look forward to building budgets with you.
Fine.
And stop. So thank you all. Yeah. Feel free if you want to put any questions in there. I'm happy to sit here and try and do them. Joe, can I see the questions? Are they coming up? I don't know if I can go to. Sounds good. Terrible due to COVID. That's Simon. My plans for 3 years. So yes, Donna. Sure, we offer plan management. Oh, that was the question around plan management. Yep. Lisa, yeah, we are happy to try and help. I'm just yeah. Look, I mean, look, yeah.
Come to
Lisa, drop us a DM with email and phone number, and we'll jump onto that straight away and see if we can help you. Adrian Vickery, yeah, if you have a plan manager, does that mean I can't use Budget Builder as well? No. We offer Budget Builder is an independent service, so you have plan management, don't have plan management, self-managed. You can be agency managed. You can be, it doesn't matter. We're offering this as a standalone service to try and help you. Yeah, so that's no problem. Yeah, Donna, building your own budget. I'm going to allow Margie to hijack this meeting and talk about her My Spending Planner hat, which is the budget builder. So just says, can you build my own budget?
Yeah, you can.
Yep.
Yeah, you definitely.
Sorry, technical glitch there. Yeah, so the Budget Builder tool is powered by My Spending Planner, which is a budgeting tool developed by Margie and her sister, and is a separate entity, legal entity, and also separate sort of channel for the business for themselves. We love the fact that part of Auscare Support is that we all encourage just the NDIS, anything we can do to improve it, we think is good. So, Budget Builder came out of the partnership that Margie and I have internally at work, and she has built the My Spending Planner tool. So you can access that directly. The website is?
So it's actually called www.myspendingplanner.com.au.
Right.
So yeah, so you can, if you're feeling really confident with the NDIS terminology and the price guides, then that's something that you can definitely access as well, just the tool itself, which has also been, which a lot of support coordinators use actually. So it's great for that. Yeah,
so, sorry, I'm just looking at it. The budgeting tool can be accessed directly, and actually, if any of you are support coordinators, I'm not sure if you are, but if any of you are support coordinators, We internally at Auscare Support have trained up all of our support coordinators on the Budget Builder tool or the My Spending Planner tool, and they all provide that services to our support coordination clients. And this is not a spring for our support coordination services. This is more saying to you, if you are a support coordinator and you have multiple clients, then reach out to My Spending Planner. You can access the and you can start to build budgets for your team and your clients, and I think that's going to be pretty cool as well. So. I've got a comment here from an Ian Bennett. Are you going to reply? I'm not sure what the question is, mate, so I'm sorry I can't reply. Yeah, will this video be available? Yes, Jennifer, we are recording this. Margie and I can't wait to watch ourselves back again. We're recording it. We'll post it on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn, and we'll send it to you directly if you particularly want to enjoy us. But yeah, or Jennifer, perhaps just yeah, we'll set up a call for you. But yes, we will make it available. I think that was the last message. Oh, sorry, Judith, could you repeat again where the tool can be accessed? So look, at the moment, the Budget Builder service is something that's an internal Auscare support service that we offer to individuals. As we said, you can have a free consult with Molly, or you can access the tool directly. myspendingplanner.com.au.
Yeah, and so if you go onto that website, then that'll direct you to another team that can then set you up to use the tool. So we've partnered with the Support Coordination Academy, and then that will give you access to use the tool yourself. So yeah, so go onto the website and have a look. I think we just
had one more comment. So again, I'm sorry, Ian, I'm looking for your question. I can't see it. It says, are you going to reply? And it says, look up. I've looked up. I can't see it. Perhaps 11
yeah,
minutes.
we'll go through it. We'll get back to you.
Yeah, sorry, Ian. I literally can't find it. So apologies for that. But happy to answer any questions. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. That's us over and out. There we go. End live video. That was awesome.